Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's full face has been one of the most requested brands that I have received from you guys over the last few years since I started doing my full face videos, and that is a full face of Pat McGrath Labs. Now, Pat McGrath is a world-renowned, amazing, very famous makeup artist, and she has a very luxe line of stunning makeup products that seems to take a lot of the world by storm. You know, I had been putting off doing this full face of this brand in particular just because it's up there. It's luxe. It's very expensive, high-end makeup, and it's one of those brands that you know it's coming from a pro, you know the products are going to be amazing, and I've actually had a lot of favorites from the brand over the years, but I thought it was high time to dive into a full face of Pat McGrath. Today is the day, guys. I have picked up mostly a full face. There are a few products that I didn't pick up, a few of the lip products. She also doesn't have a bronzer, but I actually had a lot of these products already existent in my collection, and it was kind of fun diving back down memory lane and seeing which of the products I have used and loved over the years on my YouTube channel. And I was kind of surprised, like, my lack of memory always shocks and amazes me. And I, like, even the concealer, the Pat McGrath concealer, like, I completely forgot that this was fully a favorite of mine a year ago. Like, in a favorites video, I was like, this is amazing, I love this concealer, things like that. I just kind of was like, wow. I also didn't realize how long I had this eyeshadow palette, what am I doing, in my collection for. So just a few things like that, and it's always exciting to revisit a brand, rediscover some products, and also find some new products. So today's full face is going to be Pat McGrath. We're gonna take the skin, give it a little perk up, play with some products, and as always, please let me know in the comments down below any other brands that you would like to see me do a full face makeup look and review on. I'd love to hear from you. If you like these full face videos, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. And without further ado, my friends, let us dive into the very glowy and glamorous world of Pat McGrath. All right, so let's start off with the skin. This is a product that I've never tried from Pat McGrath, and I always put off buying it. I remember being super floored by the price of it at first, and it was also at a time where I was like absolutely saying no to primers. I never used blurring primers. I was never using primers that addressed pores and whatnot. That's a very recent discovery in my makeup world. So this particular primer, the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Primer, this guy right here, it's always so funny to see the Canadian versions of labels. Like, it happens so frequently in Canada with our weird labeling requirements that people just tape over or put stickers over. I'm like, this literally feels like I made this in arts and crafts. Like, this doesn't seem like it should be a $60 primer. It feels so cheap. I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to be like a really hard metal container because all of the other packaging from Pat McGrath is like so substantial and like luxe feeling. So I was kind of surprised picking this up. It literally feels light, like cardboard and paper, and yeah, I wasn't expecting it. Anyway, this is the primer. It says it's a perfecting primer that smooths, hydrates, and blurs with a sublime silken effect that ensures a flawless canvas and makeup application that lasts. So let's give it a go. I feel like over the last year, let's say, I've definitely been much more adventurous when it comes to the primer world. We've been trying a lot of them, so perhaps my opinion surrounding this primer will be much more well read at this point, if you will. So let's take a little pump. Oh, it has a very strong fragrance, actually. It says that it has cosmetic filler powder, which is meant to mimic the smoothness and clarity of ceramic to fill in the look of wrinkles and diffuse light, creating an even and luminous surface that also feels incredibly smooth. So apparently we're just supposed to have like smooth skin from applying this. Oh, did I get that on my nose already? Here we go. All right, let's give it a go. I'm gonna press this on. It does have a silicone-y, slippy feeling for sure. It kind of feels like, actually, yeah, totally. This reminds me of the e.l.f. Putty Primer that I've been using lately, because the e.l.f. Putty Primer I thought was going to be kind of like really intensely goopy and silicone-y, and it ended up being such a lovely creamy feeling. It kind of feels like this. I'm getting an instant cooling sensation, which I wasn't expecting to get from this. It feels nice. Let's take a look at the pores. Honestly, I wonder if it showed up in the camera, but there is definite instant smoothness there. Honestly, it looks good. We'll see how the makeup wears over it. I've been trying my best to give products a bit more of a fair shot and just generally remembering to do this, but whenever I use a product like this, if it is smoothing out my pores, if I'm not just using a hydrating base, if I'm using a primer, like, okay, like the Milk Hydro Grip primer, I feel like I didn't give it a fair shot because I was kind of rubbing it away. I need to remember that if I'm using primers like this that I'm wanting to set in, make my makeup last longer, and give me smoothness, blur the lines, blur my pores, then I need to remember to use a beauty sponge with the foundation on top so as to not rub it around and disturb it once it's been set and put onto my skin. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to use my beauty blender with the foundation, and hopefully that'll give this primer a fair shot once we put it on top. But so far so good. I'm very curious to know. Let me know if you were able to see a difference with your eyes. And let's move on to the foundation. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. I've had this in my collection for quite some time. I do remember liking it, but I don't remember why exactly that was. Little Kohl's notes on the foundation. It's supposed to have a natural finish, medium coverage, hydrating, liquid formula. Sounds like all the things that I love. I'm having a particularly happy skin day today, but we definitely have some things here that we can be covering up. I love a good medium coverage, and it is a customizable foundation that builds from sheer to medium coverage. It says it manifests the ultimate sublime skin standard. Love that. Love how extra the naming of these products are. I love that. Can we just also talk about the packaging? This is the level of packaging that I was expecting for the primer. I'm so surprised. Can I just say also, I love her branding. Everything is great. I am a little bit confused by the launches. Like, I follow her on Instagram, or the brand on Instagram, whoever's posting, we don't know. But it's always like the Sublime this, the Divine Rose volume, blah, blah. Like, I can't keep up with the volumes of the launches, you know what I mean? But I do love how glamorous everything is. When you're spending a lot of money on a product, you want it to be a luxurious experience. And I think you very much get that experience with Pat McGrath. Other than that, you know what I mean? Anyway, very liquidy. I didn't remember it being this liquidy. I honestly thought it would be a little bit more creamy. So as it's dripping down my hand, I'm just gonna take my beauty blender and blend this in. And I'll try and like use a small amount and see how much coverage we can get with just one layer. But yeah, totally forgot how like liquidy and lovely this looks to be. Now, I wanted to say before we complete all of the base products that I actually, like, I already had the foundation and the concealers in my collection, and I didn't think there'd be any issue with the products because I do have a little bit of a summer tan, and I do remember the concealer being too deep for me, but I was like, oh, you know, I think it'll be fine because it's summertime now and I have been laying in the sun. But the concealer, we'll see. We'll have to see. I don't know if it's gonna work. We might have to mix in another lighter one, but we'll get to that in a sec. This is quite yellow in comparison to my face, and I typically do go for the more neutral, but if I had to choose, like, I would choose more of a yellow undertone than a pink undertone, but this is like very yellow, this color. So I'm just bringing that down my neck a little bit, and I used 2 pumps total in my hands, and assuming that a lot of it is being absorbed by the beauty blender, I'm pretty impressed by how much I was able to spread that about and also go down my neck. So it looks lovely, very much a natural finish. It's not exceptionally matte, it's not exceptionally glowy. Just from very much a first impression, I feel like the effectiveness of it does not warrant the price. My e.l.f. Putty Primer, for example, does just as good of a job on the pores. I don't feel particularly dry, but I don't feel particularly hydrated. Like my little Weleda Skin Food and my e.l.f. Pore Putty Primer feels just as good, if not looks better than this combo. The foundation's nice. I love it when it's so easy to blend out. Like, the foundation is like a yes, that is gorgeous, but the primer didn't do anything exceptional. Yeah, I'm not like, wow, to the primer. I didn't really notice much, but foundation looks great. Looks great. Let's move on to the concealer. Like I mentioned before, sorry, this is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. Lovely, beautiful glass bottle. So at one point or another, I did have 3 shades of this. I don't know where the other shade went, but I have 2 here. I have a very light one and a very dark one for my skin. The lighter one is LM8. And like I mentioned before, I completely forgot that this was like a full-blown favorite of mine in a favorites video. I was like, oh my god, this concealer is amazing. I did a whole wear test. I'll link to that video because I did show little clips of a whole wear test in it. And yeah, I don't know, COVID just continued. I just have tried many products since then, and I didn't really remember how I felt about this. So it's supposed to have a natural finish, full coverage, and according to myself, what I said at that time, it was the longest lasting concealer that I've ever worn, and I did like an 11-hour wear test in my skin, so I thought looked completely flawless at the end of the day. So I know it doesn't look like I'm using it sparingly, but I really just took the tiniest little strokes there, and you know what, I think this color will be fine. I think it'll be fine. I'm gonna take a bit of my MAC Coconut Fix Plus and just put that into my beauty sponge just to give it another little rehydration moment. Actually, you know what? I can't remember where I saw this. Someone did this and it was like spraying your setting spray before blending things in, and I've kind of been doing that a little bit lately. I like it just to give it a little wetness. Let's just give this a blend. This is also very yellow toned. Very, very yellow. Oh my god. Wow, yeah. Wow. That looks positively stunning. That is absolutely flawless. And like, considering how much coverage it actually has, it just feels very thin, which I like a lot. A lot of the times with full coverage products, it can just be thick. Like, this is full coverage without having any thickness to it whatsoever. Like, as I'm blending it in, it's just the most lovely thin feeling. Like, you can still see your skin, but not, because it's fully covered. I don't really know how to explain that, but it does look great. I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, great. I'm glad that I've rediscovered this and pulled this back out, but also, like, I have my little freckly summer glow starting to come in. I didn't necessarily want full coverage, but like, we got full coverage, and she flawless. I'm just gonna take what's left on my beauty sponge and just dab that onto my eyes. I have a lot of like redness and blue veins in my eyes, so sometimes if I have, not sometimes, most of the time, but when I have such full coverage on the rest of my face, it feels odd to just leave the tops of my eyes plain without the same coverage. So I'm gonna do another spritz of the Benefit Professional setting spray. I'm gonna let this soak. I'm not gonna fully powder and do the rest of my face just yet, but I do have her setting powder. But then I also have the under eye, the blurring under eye powder. This little guy right here, and I bought this, I don't remember when, but it was kind of not that long ago actually that I bought this. And I don't know if I've actually tried it. I might have tried it once, but I didn't think anything of it. But maybe because this is meant for the eyes, I'll actually use this now to set the eyelid before we go into the eyeshadow palette, and I'll just leave this underneath the eyes to do a little bit of baking. I'm not baking, I'm literally just putting powder there. I don't know how to bake, which is what so many of you tell me, so I won't call it baking, but I'm just gonna like put this under my eye. And we'll just let that set in because we're going to apply shadow there. So I'll just let this live its life and we'll see how it goes. I don't really know how this differs from the setting powder, but that feels dry. Oh my god, it feels very dry. That is set. That is a mattifying, setting, under eye powder for sure. I feel it. It's like a, which means that it will most likely be very long lasting, but I have lots of other powders that I enjoy more for my dry skin that don't give me that tight feeling. And what an odd feeling right now to just have that focused right there. So let's play with some eyes. I've got 2 eye products to use today. Look how gross that is. You can tell she's been loved. This is the Mothership V palette, the Mothership V. Like I said before, I've had this for quite some time, and I was actually surprised at how many videos I used this in that I had no recollection of, but it's beautiful. One thing I love with the Pat McGrath artistry and just like all the looks that are shown on their Instagram page is that everything is just very, very smoky. It's very glowy, lots of eyeshadow shimmery toppers. They often actually take like the shimmery shadows and just literally put that all over the lid, and I love it. There's always like a really heavy filter used on everything they post, and it just makes everything look so like smooth and glowing and just beautiful. Very gorgeous eye looks. And there's 3 mattes in this palette. There's a purple, a lighter brown, and a deeper brown. Obviously I'm most likely going to use the browns, and I know that anytime I've used this, I've done the same thing, but basically if like these 4 shadows were taken out, that would be perfect. And I will say that as I'm saying that, she actually does have so many different eyeshadow variations, eyeshadow palette variations. She does have quads. There are a ton of these larger palettes. There's a lot of different eyeshadows. I just felt like because I had this, I didn't really want to do the splurge and buy any others when I feel like this is pretty much like I'm happy with these shades here for my general favorite eye looks. But one thing I wanted to pick up was her eyeliner. This is the PermaGel Ultra Glide Pencil in the shade Black Coffee, and Nikki_makeup actually used this the other day, the Black Coffee shade, and I was like, hello. And I really wanted to see how it compared to some of my other favorite brown eyeliners. I've got a lot of favorites. I wanted to see its creaminess. She's creamy. This is definitely one that is to be blended out and smoked out, which I love. I have no complaints about that. Speaking of Nikki_makeup, let's just do a little Nikki moment. She often starts with an eye pencil, and I kind of love that. I'm gonna do one eye at a time just because I don't know how quickly this eyeliner sets. If you guys want reference to its creaminess, it's not as creamy and liquidy as the Victoria Beckham ones, but I'd say it's just like one notch down. Like on a level of creaminess, this is still very creamy, but like the Victoria Beckham ones in comparison are just like wet. It might as well be a liquid eyeliner. Like you need the tiniest bit of those, but that just, yeah, it dried down quite quickly actually. So the Pat McGrath eyes, you know, there's always some kind of little cat eye action, so I'm just gonna really lightly drag that out. We can just build on the color, but I'm just using a MAC 239. And I'm just gonna really softly blend this into the crease and kind of map out our shape with this liner. Can I do this on the other eye? Only time will tell. Let's see right now. Okay, kinda. It was a little bit tough. It definitely dried down. It set. I felt like I really had to sit and wiggle. However, the smoked outness, I love this color. Very nice. It's kind of like a gray brown. Very pretty, this Black Coffee color. Let's dive into the palette. I'm gonna take a little bit of the deeper brown. I'm basically gonna build onto where we blended that, and then I'll probably take a fluffier brush and use the light brown to blend it. So I'm just gonna take that same shader brush, dip into the deep brown. I'm not gonna hold that big palette because that is heavy. And let's just press that on and build up this shade. Add a little bit of warmth, build up the intensity. And I just keep a little fluffy brush on hand. This is the Smith 230, and I'll kind of just blend that out as we go. Softening the edges, getting that really signature Pat McGrath blurred effect. We're kind of just layering these shades, you know? And just use my nail to kind of sharpen that up a bit. That worked great. Yeah, I love the warmth added into there. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye, and then we'll grab a big fluffy brush for the next step. Okay, so taking a Smith 232, a nice big fluffy brush, I'm gonna dive into that lighter, warmer brown there. I'm always nervous to do this because I don't know, I just want to add a little bit of warmth in there. You could also do this with your bronzer, but this is kind of just like with the lightest hand. Gonna add a little bit of extra warmth in there and just really diffuse everything. See how it just looks like so much more softer and blended in the crease? Adding that on, I kind of like it. Next up, I'm going to grab another shader brush. This is the Refer 02 brush. This is certainly the exact process I've done before, but I do just really love this sheeny pink. It's just, look at that shadow. Like, how could you not want to rub that all over your eyeballs? I can't help it. I'm tempted, okay? And it was an old video, so for those of you who've seen it, let's just pretend you haven't. And for those who are new here, welcome. Look at my incredibly unique, never before seen eyeshadow look. All right, I'm just going to press that, like literally starting from the inner corner all over the lid where we have no eyeshadow. And whenever, like in the Pat McGrath videos, they always just take a brush and go whoa all across the eye. It's always very dramatic. I love it. Just these like dreamy, shimmery, not too chunky, glittery, like it's just very ethereal is how I would like to describe these shadows. They are so gorgeous. So just pressing that all over the empty space in the lid. One thing I will do is I'm going to go back in with the Black Coffee, and I'm just going to press that right into the lash line a little bit more, Just because we smoked and blended everything out, I just want to add back in the definition onto the lash line, but just the tiniest little amount, just like pressing it in. Whoop. And ruining the precision that we had. Whoops. Yeah, it just adds a little bit of something back to the lash line. Hopefully you can see the difference. Then I'm going to take this liner and just put this a little bit onto the lower lash line. I'm going to take that same flat shader brush and just blend that along. And what's nice is we already set our under eyes, so I can just go ahead and do this right away. Normally I'd do the rest of the face and then finish the lower lash line, but I'm just kind of blending it right up into the top here. And then I'll take the little fluffy brush with that light brown and just run that over. Let's finish off the eyes with some mascara. I've never tried the mascara. The packaging is so cute. It's gold packaging with pink text. It's the Pat McGrath Labs Dark Star Mascara. Can you see the pink? Oh my god, it's so cute. Really cute. There's actually a lengthening mascara as well. I've never tried either, so it doesn't have an off-putting smell. It's got a little hourglass wand. I might pull a little bit of my Annabelle Skinny Mascara too for the lower lashes. I think this definitely needs some lower lash love, but let's give this mascara a try. Oh wow, right away it's like, look at the fluff. Oh my goodness. The wand almost feels longer a little bit. Like my hand feels further away from my face than normal. It's kind of nice. This mascara looks amazing. Oh my god, it's buildable too. This is a very big statement that I'm about to make, but that is one of the nicest mascaras that I've ever used. Like for a first use, pulling out a fresh bottle, I am floored. I'm floored. That is absolutely phenomenal. Looks amazing. Wow, have you guys tried this mascara? Have you been keeping this a secret from me? Let me know. I'm gonna take the Annabelle Skinny Mascara and just do the lower lashes real quick. She has no bronzer, no contour from what I could see. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use my NARS bronzing cream to just give the face a little bit of a sculpting moment. Let's bring some life back into this very covered and perfected base. I'm using my Smith 157. Oh, and my hair. My Smith 157 brush. And I'm just gonna do some sculpting with this. I'm also just gonna do some quick lip liner. I'm gonna take the NYX Natural Lip Liner. All right, let's jump back to highlight. This is the Pat McGrath Nude Skin Fetish Highlighter Balm Duo. I've used this before. I've had it in my collection before. I've also decluttered it before. So this is a fresh tube. I shouldn't have picked it up. I did it for the sake of the video. The packaging, oh, so sorry. The packaging is stunning. It's this lovely dual-sided. There's a little balm here and then a highlighter here. There's a few shades of this, I think 3. It is lovely. It is beautiful. I'm gonna use the highlight shade and just use that to press into my skin. But like I've been feeling about quite a few highlighters these days, there's just so many. There's so many that do the same thing. You definitely don't need to spend a lot on highlighter. You can find a very great affordable version. It kind of just depends on what you want to purchase. Do you like the brand? Do you want to support the brand? Do you like the packaging? What format do you like? I do enjoy that you get both a highlight and a balm in here. If you are into that, I don't frequently use a balm highlight. I do love my little shimmery glow. There's nothing wrong with the product. It is pricey, but it is beautiful. It's just not a product I've ever reached for. Like I had decluttered it out of my collection at one point, but the highlight itself is gorgeous. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'm kind of just, I don't have any particularly strong feelings towards it. I don't know. That's it, I guess. It's nice. It looks nice. And that's that. That's the highlight. Now, the most recent purchase, and it is actually what inspired this video, I saw that she came out with the Skin Fetish Divine Blush. I picked up the shade Nude Venus. This one right here, beautiful little roses in there, gorgeous packaging. It says, blush without caution. Fabulous flirtations and sexquisite seductions may result with prolonged use on the back. Oh my god, that is amazing. Like I said, always glam, always very extra. And yeah, I saw that she launched these Divine blushes, so this was actually the purchase that inspired me, just purchasing the rest of the things that I needed for a full face of Pat McGrath. So I'm going to take my Rephr 04 brush, and this is actually, it reminded me of the TikTok makeup hacks that I just did in the way that she often applies blush. She really fills this upper cheek area and then does that kind of V, like she continues blushing up here past the brow. And I noticed that a lot, like specifically obviously in the launch of these blushes, but I kind of went back, and a lot of the models often have the blush all the way up here. So I figured I'd try it the Pat McGrath style here today. So it's like that TikTok hack that I tried, except she also still brings the blush down in a nice heavy amount that I like. I do appreciate the heavy use of blush in a lot of the Pat McGrath content. It's right up my alley. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, like true flush shade for my skin tone. I really like this color. I was expecting nothing less, honestly. I really like this color. Yeah, I kind of like it. Just blending your blush up there a little bit. So it's not so intensely like that guy, the TikTok hack, was just like, still very much a nice heavy blush, but just kind of continuing it and blending it into the rest of the face. I like that. Maybe let's take that big fluffy brush and maybe let's just like blend that into the eye, you know, add a little bit of pink there. Cute. Cute. I like that. Am I a divine rose? I love this. Love this eye look. Love it blended into the blush. Fabulous. What are your guys' thoughts on the new Pat McGrath blushes? Let's dive into the Pat McGrath setting powder. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection setting powder. I have the shade Light Medium 2. I believe I actually picked this up for the first time due to the Mariah Leonard recommendation, and I've used it a lot since. It is a beautiful powder. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of set in the rest of the face. We already set in the under eyes, and I feel like that was fine. I do just want to do a little bit more setting around here, especially on these zits and whatnot around my mouth. It's a gorgeous powder. I believe I've said nothing but good things about this. I don't know. I actually quite frequently pull this out, I'd say. I do have a strong love for my Charlotte Tilbury one, but yeah, got nothing but good things to say about this powder, that's for sure. And finally, my friends, let's finish off with the lips. This is one of the products that I've actually had in my collection for some time. This is the Blow Up Sheer Color Lip Balm. I love this color. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. God, the packaging is so cute. I love the lips on it. Very nice color, and I've used that multiple times. I picked these up, these guys here. This is the Lip Fetish Divinal Lip Shine. I picked up 2 shades, and I wanted to try these. She has a ton. She has lip glosses. She has matte liquid lipsticks. I'm kind of like really into her lip balm life, so I wanted to grab a few more of these. Like, look at this. How cute is that? Ugh. I got Boudoir Rose and Nude Venus. Oh, very nice pink. That's Boudoir Rose. Where's it Rosé? Oh, I'm so sorry. Boudoir Rosé is that shade. Then I got Nude Venus 591. That one right there. Like, I'm sorry. Is that not a me nude? Packaging A++. The lip balm formula. Gorgeous. You guys know how I feel about lip balms. That is quite shiny though. That has got quite a gloss to it. I just swatched Blow Up next to it. You can see it's kind of like a little bit lighter, a little bit more pink than Nude Venus. She's glossy, she's creamy. I'm gonna take a little bit more blush. I was just looking and I'm like, I need a little bit more blush here. All right, my people. That is everything for this full face of Pat McGrath. I think that this is actually one of the best makeup looks that I've ever put on my face. And that's saying something, considering it's been like 8 years of makeup looks on my YouTube channel. But I just think that her style of makeup, the makeup that she comes out with, this like very soft, diffused, soft glam makeup, very ethereal, just even doing that blush technique and blending it into the eyes, like I love this makeup look. I know I started the video on kind of like a It's expensive, the products are high end, but I love this makeup look. Honestly, my skin looks completely flawless. I just know that having now done a few of these techniques and playing with some of these products, like this is a look that I will absolutely have in my arsenal of looks. Like this could be such a go-to for an event or some special occasion. Like I am blown away by so many of these products. The primer's whatever. Concealer, foundation, amazing combo. So happy to have discovered this black coffee eyeliner. I think that was a gorgeous color. And this mascara, holy mother of Pate! Please let me know your guys' thoughts on seeing this mascara applied. If you've used it, if you've tried it, I need to hear from you. This is like, wow. I have used this eyeshadow palette for years. It's expensive, but as long as you're getting the use out of it, like the formulas are divine. Divine is a word she uses a lot, and I agree. Lip products are stunning. The new blushes, I mean, that applied beautifully. It's got a really nice, subtle glow to it. I don't really care for the highlighter. It's totally fine. There's just a lot of highlighters that I use and love. But overall, there's a few products that I'm like meh about, but the products that are good are like really good. I'm absolutely obsessed with this makeup look. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think of the makeup look? What do you think of some of these products? If you have some favorites from Pat McGrath, please let me know what they are in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And that's it for this video, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this look. I hope you enjoyed seeing this full face of Pat McGrath. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon for a new video. Bye!